The alarm wailed through the monitoring station like a wounded beast. Lieutenant Marcus Chen dropped his coffee and sprinted to his console. His hand trembled as impossible data flooded his screen. "Get Commander Williams," he whispered, then shouted, "Get her now!" The beacon signature was unmistakable, ESS Prometheus. But that ship had vanished 247 years ago. Marcus had studied it in the academy. Every child knew the story of the Prometheus disaster, the day humanity's dream of faster-than-light travel died. Commander Sarah Williams burst in, gray hair wild from sleep. "This better be good, Chen. I was finally—" She stopped cold, color draining from her face. "That's not possible." "I checked it 17 times, Marcus said. "It's really them." The Prometheus had been humanity's first leap beyond light speed, carrying the best scientists and engineers aboard an experimental drive. Mid-jump, the ship had simply vanished. No explosion, no wreckage, nothing. The ancient aliens known as the Concordants had called the technology too dangerous, offering safer methods, slower, controlled ones that kept humanity confined to a single sector of space. Sarah stared at the readings. "Where's she coming from?" "That's the weird part," Marcus said, pointing. "She's not from normal space. A wormhole's opening. I've never seen anything like it." On the main screen, space itself tore apart. Reality folded like wet paper, and through the rift emerged a ship. The Prometheus no longer resembled the one from history texts. Her hull was alive with shifting patterns and lights that pulsed in colors painful to behold. "Scanner," Sarah ordered. The results defied logic. Power levels off the charts, hull composition unknown, and 312 life signs, the exact number that had departed centuries ago. Sarah opened a channel. "ESS Prometheus, this is monitoring station Delta 7. Please respond." Static crackled, then a clear voice. "Delta 7, this is Captain Elena Voss of the Prometheus. It's good to hear another human voice. What year is it?" "It's 2347, Sarah replied. "Captain, you've been gone 247 years. A stunned silence. "That's not possible. We've only been gone 3 years. Well, 3 for us." Sarah's stomach dropped. Time dilation couldn't explain that. "Captain, where have you been?" Before Elena could reply, new readings flared across Marcus's display. "Commander, multiple inbound signatures. Concordance vessels, 6 of them. 6 massive alien warships dropped from FTL, encircling the Prometheus in perfect formation." Sarah recognized the flagship. It belonged to Ambassador Thelm himself, one of the most powerful beings in the Concordance. A new voice filled the channel, like grinding stone in a winter gale. "Human vessel Prometheus, power down immediately. You carry forbidden technology. Surrender, and your crew will be spared." On screen, the Prometheus's lights flared brighter. Captain Voss's voice returned, sharp and defiant. "Ambassador Thelm, how convenient you arrived so quickly. Almost as if you were waiting." "Your ship carries weapons from the Harbinger civilization," Thelm said. "Technology that once nearly destroyed the galaxy. It cannot be allowed to exist." "Weapons?" Elena laughed, cold, humorless. "Is that the lie you told them? That the Harbingers were monsters? That their technology was too dangerous for younger species? That they're us," Elena had said, staring at the impossible data. "We're the descendants of the ones who built this network, and the Concordance has been lying to us from the beginning." But the ancient installations contained more than lost history. They contained power. The greatest discovery was a small metallic sphere, no larger than her palm, yet it held more processing power than every computer on Earth combined. When Elena touched it, the sphere linked directly with her mind. In an instant she could see, not with her eyes, but with her thoughts. Layers of space-time unfolded before her like stacked glass, each plane shimmering with energy. Between them were hidden pathways, shortcuts that made traditional faster-than-light travel seem primitive. "It only responds to human neural patterns," Yuki explained. "It's bound to our genetics. The Concordants could never reach this layer of space. They're not human." Elena had spent 2 years mastering the device. Her crew rebuilt the Prometheus around it, merging alien architecture with human design. They learned to phase between dimensions, to move unseen through the folds of existence. And when they were ready, they voted. All 312 of them. Should they return and tell humanity the truth, or vanish forever, knowing the Concordance would hunt them? The decision was unanimous. They would go home. Now, as Elena guided the Prometheus through impossible geometries of space, slipping past Concordance patrols, she transmitted encrypted data packets to every human world, hidden inside ordinary transmissions. Each packet carried everything: the history, the blueprints, the undeniable proof. "Captain, we've got a problem," James reported. "Ship trailing us. Small, alien, not Concordance military." Elena checked the sensors. The vessel was somehow matching their dimensional shifts. She opened a channel. A young K3 woman appeared, skin like molten silver, eyes glowing amber. "Please don't fire," she blurted. "I'm Sira, an engineer. I've been studying the Concordance for years, and I think they've been lying to my people too." Elena studied her. "How are you tracking us?" Sira raised a modified scanner. "I've suspected the Concordance was hiding something about space-time. When you appeared and they called you dangerous, I knew it. Let me help you. My people deserve the truth too." Elena glanced at her crew. They nodded. "Then follow us to Earth," she said. "But be ready. The Concordance won't let this truth spread peacefully." Together, the two ships plunged toward humanity's home world, carrying revelations that would tear apart the oldest galactic lies. Earth's moon hung like a silent pearl in the black, and beneath its surface, in the vast Concordance Regional Command, Ambassador Thelm controlled everything: trade, colonies, technology, humanity's future itself. On the bridge of the Prometheus, Captain Elena Voss gazed at Earth. She had left as a pioneer. She was returning as a revolutionary, her comms alive with transmissions from the planet below. "Communications reports incoming signals," the officer said. Some from government channels demanding surrender, others from civilians, protests, celebrations. "Millions in the streets calling for answers." Elena smiled. The data packets had worked. Humanity was finally waking up. A priority transmission flashed. President Martinez appeared on screen, eyes weary but firm. "Captain Voss, I'm ordering you to land at the Geneva military base immediately. We need to contain this before it escalates." "Contain it." Elena's voice was steady. "Mr. President, we've been living in a cage our entire history. The Concordance has lied to us for millennia. Don't you want to know why?" "What I want," Martinez snapped, "is to avoid a war we can't win. Thalen has 200 warships in orbit. If you don't surrender that device, he'll use them. Then let him try." The channel cut out. Moments later, the sensors lit up. The Concordance fleet was repositioning, closing around Earth like a tightening noose. Elena felt the device grow warm in her palm. Images filled her mind. Possibilities, timelines, futures, branching like shattered glass. She saw surrender, ignorance preserved, humanity chained forever. She saw defiance, fire raining over Earth, billions dead. And then she saw narrow paths in between. Dangerous, but possible. "All crew to battle stations," she said softly. Ambassador Thelen's voice rolled across the comms, heavy and ancient. "Captain Voss, this is your final warning. Surrender the Harbinger device. Accept exile. Your crew will be mind-wiped and returned to human society. This is mercy your kind never earned." Elena laughed bitterly. "The Harbinger device? You know what it truly is, Thelen. It's proof. Proof humanity built this network. Proof you stole our legacy and buried the truth for 100,000 years." "You understand nothing," Thelen growled, and for the first time there was fury in his tone. "The precursors nearly destroyed the galaxy with their arrogance. They gifted weapons to children, and entire civilizations burned. We saved the galaxy by taking control." "By enslaving it, you mean?" Elena countered. "By guiding it," Thelen replied coldly. "We ensured progress without annihilation. Yes, we gained power, but we preserved peace." The device pulsed again, feeding her impossible data. Enemy formations, firing trajectories, probability curves of outcomes yet to unfold. "You kept yourselves in power," Elena said. "There's a difference." The Concordance fleet opened fire. Hundreds of energy beams tore through the void. The heavens above Earth ignited with light. Elena closed her eyes. and phased. The Prometheus vanished between dimensions. The blasts ripped through empty space. But Elena hadn't come to flee. She had come to fight. Guided by the device, she unleashed counterfire with inhuman precision. Each shot struck with surgical accuracy. Engines disabled, weapons silenced, not annihilated. One by one, Concordance ships went dark. "Captain!" her tactical officer shouted. "The Earth Defense Fleet, they're breaking formation." "They're not following Concordance orders. They're aligning behind us." Hope surged in Elena's chest. Humanity had chosen, but more Concordance ships arrived. Hundreds, thousands. The onslaught seemed endless. The device strained. Elena could feel it drawing on her strength. She wouldn't last forever. Then new signals appeared. Dozens of ships dropping from FTL, Cathri vessels, Voron fighters, Thrail cruisers. All the younger species, all supposedly loyal to the Concordance. Sierra's face appeared on the screen, beaming. "Told you." The precursors by ancient humanity, built to preserve everything they had learned. It had waited in silence for eons, waiting for one who could awaken it, one who could wield the device, one worthy to reclaim humanity's forgotten inheritance. Ambassador Thelen's voice came through the comms, no longer commanding, trembling now, laced with fear. "You don't understand what you've done. You have no idea what that thing contains." Elena smiled faintly. "Then I suppose we're about to find out." The archive unfolded like a blooming flower. Gigantic panels, each the size of cities, peeled open, revealing a luminous core that pulsed with soft blue light. The sphere in Elena's palm burned hot, linking her mind to something vast and ancient. And then it came, knowledge, not as sterile data, but as living memory. She saw it all. Cities of light suspended between stars, countless species united in cooperation, sharing discoveries freely. And at the heart of it, humans, her ancestors, not as conquerors, but as mentors, builders of bridges between worlds. She saw their brilliance, and she saw their fall. "Captain." James's voice sounded distant, muffled through the haze. "Are you all right?" Elena opened her eyes. Tears streaked her face. "I saw them," she whispered. "I saw who we were, explorers, scientists. We found the deep layers of space, and we believed it was meant to be shared." On the main screen, Ambassador Thelen reappeared. His composure was gone. He looked older, weary. "So now you know," he said bitterly. "Your ancestors were fools. Their arrogance nearly destroyed the galaxy." "Were they?" Elena asked softly, wiping her eyes. "The archive shows the truth, Thelen, not your version." She raised her hand, and the Prometheus transmitted the archive's images. Across the void, every ship, human and alien alike, saw the truth projected in the skies above Earth. The story unfolded in living light. The concordant species had once served humanity. They were organizers, administrators, keepers of order, valued for their precision and stability. Humanity had trusted them, depended on them. But when humans uncovered the deep layers of space, the concordant saw something different, an opportunity. "You convinced us the technology was dangerous," Elena said. "You showed us worlds that destroyed themselves with power they couldn't control. And yes, some did. But instead of helping them learn, you used their mistakes as your weapon." The projections shifted, showing concordance leaders meeting in secret, rewriting protocols, seizing control of trade routes, communications, fleets. Slowly, methodically, they took control. "When the precursors realized what you'd done," Elena continued, voice hardening, "it was already too late. You started a war. You turned entire civilizations against one another. You made sure humanity, the very species that built everything, was painted as the tyrant. Control everyone. And when they fled or perished, you seized their works and claimed it was for the galaxy's salvation." The face remained emotionless. "We brought order. We brought peace. For 100,000 years, civilizations have flourished under our care. No cataclysmic wars. No worlds reduced to ash. Can your ancestors boast the same?" Elena felt the device pulse again. It was showing her a choice. Within it lay the complete knowledge of the precursors. Technology, weapons, power beyond imagination. The archive waited for her decision. She could claim it all for humanity, make her species supreme. The archive would obey her. She could unleash weapons that would render the Concordance fleet obsolete, avenge 100 millennia of deceit. Or she could share it. Release the knowledge to all. Let every species grow together, free of Concordance control. It would be chaos. Some would misuse it, some would destroy themselves, but it would be freedom. Captain, Dr. Tanaka murmured, the archive awaits your command. Whatever you choose, it will obey. Elena gazed at Earth turning slowly below. She thought of humanity's dreamers, those who had reached for the stars, who believed the Concordance's lies because they had no reason not to. I'm not claiming the archive for humanity, she said softly. That's not who we are, not who we're meant to be. She touched the device and sent her command. The archive's defenses dropped. Its knowledge opened, and its access codes broadcast across the galaxy. What have you done? Thalon whispered. I've given everyone the same choice our ancestors offered, Elena said. Learn, grow, make your own mistakes, your own triumphs. The archive belongs to all, even the Concordance. Alarms screamed through every Concordance ship. Their systems flooded with new data, technologies, theories, deep-layer network maps, everything they had hoarded for 100,000 years. And then the archive gave one final gift. Ancient defense systems across the stars awoke. They didn't attack. They simply stood guard, making it impossible for any one species to seize or destroy the archives. You've doomed us all, Thalon said, voice trembling. Without order, without control, the galaxy will burn again. Maybe, Elena replied quietly. But this time, it'll be our choice. Every species' choice. Not yours. Kraze's face appeared on screen beside dozens of others. Younger species. Free at last. Captain Voss, Kraz said. On behalf of the Cathri people, thank you. You've broken the Concordance's chains. Now, we can shape our own future. More voices followed, species across the stars, united in gratitude, in hope. It was overwhelming. Tears welled in Elena's eyes. But she also saw Thalon's face. The old ambassador looked defeated, yet beneath the weariness lingered something else. Relief, perhaps, or simply the exhaustion of holding a lie for so long. Ambassador, Elena said softly, this doesn't have to be the end of the Concordance. You could help us. Truly help us, not control us. Your species has guided the galaxy for eons. That wisdom still matters. But now you must share power. You must accept that the younger races are no longer children. Thalon was silent for a long time. Then finally he spoke. You offer us a place in your new order, after everything we've done? I'm offering everyone a place, Elena said. That's the point. No more rulers. No more servants. Just equals. The ambassador's image vanished. She didn't know if he'd accept, but it no longer mattered. The truth was out. The archive was open. Humanity had been tested with ultimate power, and they had chosen to share it. That, Elena thought, was worth returning home for. 6 months later, Elena Voss stood on the Prometheus's observation deck, watching the galaxy transform. Earth's orbit was alive, ships from 100 species arriving daily to study the archive. Some came to learn. Others argued or fought over what to develop first. It was messy, chaotic, beautiful, Captain, James said, stepping beside her, voice tired but amused. The Vaughn delegation is fighting with the K3 engineers again, something about navigation safety protocols. Elena sighed. Tell them I'll mediate in an hour. She smiled faintly. I used to think coming back would be the hard part. Turns out managing peace is harder than war. Across the stars, archive sites glowed awake. Some species hoarded their discoveries. Others shared freely. Some embraced progress. Others burned for it. 3 civilizations had already destroyed themselves. Each time the weight of it settled heavier on Elena's heart. Had Thalon been right? Had she doomed the galaxy with freedom? You're thinking about the Miroth again, James murmured. Elena nodded. The Miroth had been the first to fall, using archive weapons against their neighbors, who retaliated in kind. Both civilizations vanished in the flames. I could have stopped it, she whispered. Controlled the archive. Released tech slowly, like the Concordance did. And become what we fought, James finished. You made the right choice. We can't save people from themselves, only give them the chance to be better. A new signal flashed across sensors, concordance design, but smaller, diplomatic. The comm pinged. Ambassador Thelen requests permission to dock. Elena raised a brow. You're asking permission now? That's new. Many things are new, Thelen said. Was that humor? May I come aboard? I have a proposal. 20 minutes later, Thelen entered the Prometheus's conference room with Cirque and a dozen younger species envoys. He looked smaller now, uncertain. Captain, he began, 6 months ago you offered the Concordance a place in your new order. I refused. I thought you were destroying everything we built. And now? Elena asked. Now, I see control is not the same as guidance. We forgot the difference. He took a breath. 3 more species destroyed themselves this week. The Vorten used archive weapons in Civil War. The Delks tampered with their genetics and created a plague. The Zareth collapsed when they learned how deeply we lied to them. Elena's stomach twisted. I know, I've seen the reports. They asked me to speak for them, Thelen continued. To propose a new concordance. Not rulers, advisors. Those with experience guiding those just beginning. Voluntary, transparent, democratic. Cirque stepped forward. We don't want more extinction. But we can't be controlled again. We need help, not masters. Elena eyed Thelen. And you think the old concordance can do that? Who better, Cirque said. They have 100 millennia of experience. They've seen every mistake. We just need them honest this time. Elena turned to Thelen. And you accept being equals, not rulers. He hesitated. My species forgot how. But I've watched you, Captain, watched humanity. You had absolute power and you shared it. You mourned those who fell instead of saying, I told you so. That's leadership. That's what we should have been, he bowed. We can't undo the past. But we can learn from it, if you'll let us. Elena looked to her crew. James nodded. Dr. Tanaka smiled. They'd hoped for this moment. All right, she said. We form a new galactic council. Every species gets equal representation. The old concordance advises, but no longer commands. Agreed? Thelen nodded. Agreed, and the archives stay open to all. No restrictions. No control. We can advise, but never forbid. Freedom means responsibility, even when it hurts. That will lead to more deaths, Thelen warned. I know, Elena said softly. But the alternative is the cage, and humanity is done living in cages. Weeks later, the Galactic Council took shape, noisy, imperfect, alive. Arguments erupted daily. Compromises broke as fast as they were made. But it was real. It was democracy. 3 years passed. On the same observation deck, Elena watched the stars again. The chaos had softened. Some species flourished. Others stumbled. Some fell, but most endured. Cirque joined her with 2 steaming cups of something like coffee. Thinking deep thoughts again, Captain? Elena smiled. Wondering if we did the right thing. We're alive. We're free. We're learning, Cirque said, handing her the cup. What more could anyone want? Peace, she murmured. Safety. Knowing no one else will fall. Those things can't be given, Cirque replied. They have to be earned. The old concordance tried to force peace for 100,000 years. It kept us safe but small. Now we're growing. It's dangerous, yes, but we'll be stronger for it. Elena sipped the drink. It was awful, and smiled. When did you get so wise? I learned from humans, Cirque grinned. You're good teachers. The device in her pocket pulsed. She kept it, though the archive offered countless copies. Some things she felt should remain singular. It showed her glimpses of possible futures. Civilizations rising, species working together, the galaxy slowly becoming what the precursors had dreamed of, a community of equals. It wouldn't be perfect. There would be wars, losses, triumphs, but there would be hope. Humanity would stand not as rulers, but as partners, as explorers still learning themselves, helping others find their paths. That, Elena thought, was what it meant to be human, not to dominate, but to give others the chance to be free, even when freedom hurt. The Prometheus's engines hummed as it set course for new stars. The ship that vanished centuries ago was now humanity's symbol, proof of what could be achieved when power was shared instead of hoarded. Elena looked out at the stars and smiled. They were free. All of them.